Hi and welcome to this video. Today we are taking a quick look at the Andycine C5 monitor. This is a very bright monitor with 3000 nits. It's a 5.5 inch touchscreen monitor and has a lot of features that we looking at it in this video. Before we go to the menu and look at all the features that the C5 provides us, let's take a quick look at the interface on the outside of the monitor. We have a HDMI in and out port, and we have an SD card slot that you can use to import, for example, LUTs. And you have a wheel, a navigation wheel on the top, and of course the power button. Talking about power, you have a 12 volt DC input and an 8 volt DC output. And of course you have a Sony battery port to power the monitor. And the second port is to power another device, for example, a wireless receiver, or you can remove it and use another Sony battery to power your monitor. So let's dive into the menu and look at all the features. And yeah, these are the assist features. And let's look at the analysis. If we switch it on, we can see we have a waveform monitor, we have a histogram, audio, and you have a vectorscope, all in one overview. This is very nice and yeah, very helpful. And yeah, let's switch it off and we can switch on only the waveform monitor. You can see it, it's a RGB waveform monitor. If you want, you can have this style of waveform monitoring or just the Y monitoring. Yeah, this is very helpful, and let's switch back to the RGB waveform and let's look at the vectorscope. Vectorscope is very useful too. You can see it on the right corner, and yeah, very useful too. And you have a Y histogram, as you saw it before in the analysis overview, and a focus assist that you can turn on. You can see it now, it's yellow. Can crank it up, change the color and make it blue. Very helpful feature, the focus assist, and you can use the color you want. Let's look at the next feature, the audio meters. I don't have any audio device now in, but you can monitor it. And the next features are the zebras, very useful too. You can choose the IRE value to use the zebras and get your exposure right. And let's look at the next feature, the check fields. This is a very useful feature too, to get your exposure right, especially to look at noise, and you have a lot of colors to choose from. And yeah, I think this is very useful, such a great monitor. And the next feature, false colors, is one of my favorites. False colors to get your exposure right in bright daylight, for example. It's a very useful feature. And yeah, let's look at the markers. The markers, we have the first one, it's crosshatch. Crosshatch is like your grid, and you can choose the form of your grid, 4x4, 3x3. And yeah, very useful. You really have a lot of formats to choose from, and I think everybody will be happy with the grid that you can find in this monitor. And also the color, you can change it to the color you like. And yeah, let's take a look at the safe areas. Safe areas is for shooting, that you can have a safe area and don't overshoot or is out of frame. Very useful really. And you can decide how much the safe area will be and the format that you want, like 16:10, 16:9 or 9:16. And yeah, a lot of features, formats that you can choose from. Let's look at the next feature. It's named crosshair. Crosshair, if you turn it on, you can see you have now a cross in the middle of the frame. And of course you can change the color of this one too, the color you like. And let's take at the cinema guides. Cinema guides are very useful really to help you to decide what's in your frame and what's not in post-production, for example. And again, here's the same thing. You have a lot of formats that you can choose from, so everyone will find the right format for his shooting style. Let's take a look at the next features. You have a scan mode, overscan or underscan, and you can choose different aspect ratios like 16:9, 16:10 as you like. And you have an anamorphic mode that you can choose from, the squeeze mode like 1 to 2.5, 1 to 1.5, 2.0, anamorphic mode, very useful. And of course you can mirror your monitor. You can have a mirroring like a horizontal mirror. Let's try it out, horizontal mirror, and you can vertically mirror that, but let's make it back to the normal mode. And yeah, very useful too. On the feature zoom times, you can decide how much you want to zoom into your picture, and you have a freeze frame option, so you can freeze your frame. The last feature is the pixel to pixel feature. That means all the pixels are used for your image format like 16:9 that you are using. So let's look at the next features. You have the user options. The first one is the HDR. You can choose between 3 different HDR modes. Very useful. And yeah, let's have a look at the next features. And this is the LUT feature. You can switch the LUT on. There you go. Let's have a look. And of course you can import your own LUTs and choose from. And yes, let's take at the display setups. You can choose your options, brightness options, saturation, etc., as you can see. And under the color options, you can use your color temperature as you like. You can decide and have your own setup. Under the menu system, you have the first one is the wheel setup, so you can decide what the wheel on top is doing. You want to use it for backlight, for volume, you can decide it. The language, of course, you have different languages that you can choose from. OSD setup, how much seconds do you want the display is on or always on, like that. The next one are volume settings. You can mute your audio or change the volume, and yeah, that's it for volume. The next one is fan speed. You can decide if you want manual fan speed or auto fan speed. And yeah, this is a very useful feature too. The next one is the power display option. You can turn it on, of course, or switch it off. And the firmware update option is the last one. You can update your firmware and restore it to default settings. And yeah, I think this is everything that I can show you in a quick overview of this monitor. I think the C5 is a very great monitor, ultra bright, very useful if you work outside in the sun, and of course inside too. And I think it's a great value for the price that you are paying. And I hope this video helped you out. I am very happy with this monitor. You will be too. And see you in the next video. Bye bye.